Now according to me, we had created this script earlier and it was working fine, so there shouldn't be any problem. This is my login box. Now let's see what happens when I run the script. I have put breakpoint over here because I do not want the script to run in loop. I just want to show you an example, so we'll just run it for particular lines of code. And since we had ran this earlier, there is no error between this part, so QTP shouldn't find any error and it should run smoothly. So let's see. So I run this code, QTP could log in successfully, and I click on stop. Now when I look at QTP's print log, you'll see that error number is 0, that is no error is encountered, and error description is blank since we do not have any description for that. Since there's no error at all, there won't be any description existing. Now let me intentionally introduce some error in the script in this part. Okay, so first of all, what we'll do is we'll see how QTP handles the error if there is no if I'm not using on error resume next. So I'll just comment this part. I'll comment, okay, and I'll introduce a error. So for example, suppose instead of password I made a spelling mistake and added h to it. Okay, now when QTP takes the value from the data table password, it will search for the column name as pass h word, okay, or let's say password 1. Now password 1 column doesn't exist in the data table, so QTP should throw an error. So let's see, I'll open the flight window, login dialog box, and I'll run it. So as you can see, the retrieve data table.value operation failed. Password 1 column does not exist. Okay, so as expected, we are getting the error. Now this is the runtime error which we are getting because and this is tool generated error because QTP is not able to find the column itself. Now suppose I want this error to be handled in such a way that QTP ignores this step and moves to the next step. So let's see what will happen. We'll uncomment on error resume next. Okay, now for the these lines of code, QTP will just ignore the step if it encounters any error and it will move to the next step. And at the same time, I want the error number and description. So what we can do is instead of just printing the error number and description, we can use a more aesthetic way of a better way of reporting your output. Okay, so we can just use a if else statement wherein if error.number is not equal to 0. So if error number is not equal to 0, that means some error has occurred, right? Then we can use reporter.report event. So I have explained you about reporter.report event. This is something QTP, this is an inbuilt function method wherein QTP takes in the status of the makefile. So QTP takes this status and it will give the pass or fail result in your result summary. Okay, so reporter.report event makefile, because if error number is not equal to 0, that means some error has occurred, comma, I can give the step name, say step